Before we dive into the main content, we want to express our sincere appreciation to everyone joining today's webinar. We've prepared a special gift for those of you who stay until the end. An oscillator trusted and used by many professional traders in real-world trading. This bonus will be available exclusively to those who stay with us until the very end. Thank you so much for being here. In today's webinar, we'll cover two key parts. Part 1, a deep dive into Kingdom, how the system works, how it analyzes the depth of market automatically, and how it can support better trading decisions. Part 2, a trading strategy called Triple King. It helps you enter earlier, secure better positions, and turn what could be losing trades into strong setups. Before we dive into the main content, let's have a quick guess together. At this spot, would you go long or short? Let me mark a resistance zone right here. Take a moment and try to guess. What do you think might happen next? It's honestly tough to make a call at this point. As price approaches this resistance zone, we still don't have any clear signal that says we should go short. The current candle hasn't even closed yet, so we can't tell if there's strong selling pressure involved. So what should we do in this situation? Let's break it down together and figure out how we can stay one step ahead of the price. The first thing that happened was a strong drop in price. From that, I spotted a clear resistance area. It was a bearish imbalance formed during the move down. So I marked that out as my key trading zone. Then we had a support trend line that I had drawn earlier. Its role will make more sense a bit later on. I'll come back to that shortly. At this point, when price touched the resistance zone I had marked earlier, I triggered a short setup. The system automatically placed a sell order as the sell wall was larger than the buy wall, signaling that selling pressure was stronger than buying pressure at that moment. What makes Kingdom special is its ability to help you stay one step ahead of price. Think about it. A candle or a few ticks only form after a trade is executed. But with Kingdom, we're trading based on pending orders. That means we're ahead of price action by analyzing the imbalance between stacked buy and sell orders at each price level. This lets us spot the supply and demand imbalance early and place our trades before any obvious reversal signs appear, giving us the best possible entry. And right around here, the balance bar also gives you a quick read, showing that selling pressure is steadily increasing. And right at this spot, you'll see price tapping into the top of the zone. And it's only after we're in the trade that signs of a reversal begin to show. That's also when total supply starts rising sharply and clearly outweighs total demand. This is the moment to trust the setup and stay confident in your sell position. At this point, price has broken through the trend line. And this is exactly when the trend line I drew earlier comes into play. Its role is like a guiding reference, giving traders more confidence to hold their position, instead of panicking and closing the trade too early. After price touched the resistance zone and started moving down, the downward momentum was strong enough to break the support trend line. And now, price is respecting that broken trend line without showing any signs of reversing back up. This confirms it was a real breakout, so stay confident and hold your position. And just like that, with a simple setup and the help of Kingdom, we've secured over 100 ticks. And today's main character is Kingdom. A lot of traders are interested in using the DOM, depth of market, but don't fully understand how it really works. So, in this video, we're going to dive into Kingdom, a semi-automated trading system that's built on depth of market and designed to help you make more confident, informed decisions. And today's main character is Kingdom. A lot of traders are interested in using the DOM, depth of market, but don't fully understand how it really works. So, in this video, we're going to dive into Kingdom, a semi-automated trading system that's built on depth of market and designed to help you make more confident, informed decisions. From the raw data inside the DOM, we've developed it into a powerful trading system, one that delivers deeper insights and automatically analyzes the numbers for you. Kingdom helps you see the real order flow behind the market and lets you trade automatically based on your own settings, or simply use it as a smart analysis tool that fits your personal trading style. Let's start by exploring the 4 core components of the Kingdom system. First, there's a green overview wall representing demand pressure. Next to it, you'll see a buy volume wall. On the opposite side, there's an orange overview wall representing supply pressure. Next to it, you'll find a sell volume wall. The next component is the balance bar. The next component is the control panel, where you can configure system settings and switch between manual and auto modes. The fourth component is the buy-sell wall info board. So, Kingdom consists of 4 main components in total. What benefits does it bring to traders? Let me show you right now. First up is total demand, also known as accumulated bid volume. It's shown as a green shaded area on the chart. This green zone represents the total volume of buy limit orders stacked at each price level. Total demand is the accumulated number of contracts waiting to buy, starting from the current bid price and building downward. It forms a kind of buying pressure curve, giving you a clear view of how interested buyers are at each level. The thicker the area, the stronger the buy-side interest. Now, take a closer look at the chart. Where do these numbers on the accumulated demand line actually come from? First, take a look at the bid volume at the first price level. It's 2. This is the current bid price, and it's the very first level shown in the DOM. Next, at the second bid price level, we can see a volume of 6. This number comes from adding the bid volume at this price to the bid volume from the level just below it. Here's the breakdown. At 22,740, there are 4 contracts waiting to buy. Just below that, at 22,740.25, there are 2 contracts. So Kingdom displays a total accumulated bid volume of 6 at 22,740. Likewise, at the price level 22,739.75, the accumulated bid volume shows 7. That means there's 1 contract waiting to buy at 22,739.75, plus 6 contracts accumulated from the previous level, 22,740. So Kingdom displays a total of 7 at 22,539.75. That's 1 plus 6. Now let's take a look at total supply, also known as accumulated ask volume. It's shown as an orange shaded area on the chart. This orange zone represents the stacked sell limit orders at each price level. Total supply is the accumulated volume of contracts waiting to sell, starting from the current ask price and building upward. It forms an accumulated supply curve, helping you visualize how much sell-side interest exists at different levels. Just like with total demand, we start by looking at the ask volume at the first price level on the total supply side. The volume shown is 1, which matches the ask volume displayed in the DOM. This is the current ask price, and it's also the first level shown on the sell side of the DOM. Similarly, at the price level 22,042.75, the accumulated ask volume is 2. That means there's 1 contract at this price, plus 1 contract accumulated from the previous level, 22,042.50. So the total accumulated ask volume at 22,742.75 is 1 plus 1, or 2. Likewise, at the price level 22,743, so the accumulated ask volume shows 5. Here's how that's calculated. There are 3 contracts waiting to sell at this level, plus 2 contracts already accumulated from the previous level, 22,742.75. So the total accumulated ask volume at 22,743 stop order 0 is 3 plus 2 answer 5. Just like before, these ask levels are continuously added up, forming a clear and visual accumulated supply curve on the chart. By now, you probably have a solid understanding of the total demand and total supply zones and what those numbers shown on the chart actually mean, right? Next, let's talk about an important part of the total demand zone, the buy wall. A buy wall is the accumulated volume of buy limit orders sitting at a specific price level. This volume is calculated starting from the current bid price. On the total demand chart, this shows up as a steep green wall, indicating a strong cluster of buy orders at that price. A sell wall is the accumulated volume of limit sell orders sitting at a specific price level. This volume is calculated starting from the current ask price and moving upward. On the total supply chart, it appears as a steep pink wall, signaling a strong concentration of sell orders at that level. So now you've got a clear idea of what buy walls and sell walls are. At the core, they're simply price levels you define. So the system can measure the strength of buyers or sellers at those points. Based on that, Kingdom can help you automatically trigger trades when the right conditions are met. And exactly when it will auto-enter a trade, I'll walk you through that in the next section. Next, let's talk about the balance bar. This is a visual bar that shows the imbalance between buy-side and sell-side resting orders, right at the current moment. But what exactly does it rely on to determine which side is stronger? Let's break that down next. The balance bar calculates the difference between buy and sell side resting orders at the last price level on both the total demand and total supply sides. Because these values are the accumulated sum of all prior levels, the final price level gives us a clear snapshot of which side is stronger at the moment. That difference is what the balance bar displays. In this example, the final level on the total demand side shows an accumulated bid volume of 41, while the total supply side shows an accumulated ask volume of 40. So there's only a one contract difference, and the balance bar reflects that with 50.62% for buyers and 49.38% for sellers, nearly balanced. In this example, at the last price level of total demand, we see an accumulated bid volume of 42. Meanwhile, the last level on the total supply side shows an ask volume of 29. This means that buyers are clearly stronger than sellers at this moment. And the balance bar reflects that, showing buyers at nearly 60%, while sellers sit at around 40%. Next up is a key part of the system, buy-sell wall info board. This is something I really think you should understand, even though it's actually quite simple. Its job is to log and highlight the buy and sell walls whenever there's a significant imbalance between them. This gives you a clear view of how buying and selling pressure is playing out in the market, helping you respond faster and make better decisions. For example, right here you can see that the buy wall is at 27, while the sell wall is only at 9. That's a clear imbalance between the two sides. This information is then displayed on the buy-sell wall info board, with the green side highlighted more strongly, showing that buyers are clearly dominating sellers at this moment. Similarly, in this example, the buy wall is at 31, while the sell wall is only at 9. That's a significant difference, showing that buying pressure is clearly in control. This data also gets automatically recorded to the buy-sell wall info board, so you can track it easily and respond with confidence. So, how much of a gap between the buy wall and sell wall is considered significant? We'll go over that in more detail a little later on. There's one important thing to keep in mind. The chart refresh rate in NinjaTrader 8, NT8, is limited to 250 milliseconds at best. But in live markets, orders from traders come in much faster and more frequently, which means the buy-sell wall info board might not always show the exact real-time state of the walls at that very second. To handle this, the board uses a much faster custom algorithm that can detect imbalances between the buy and sell walls before they even show up on the chart. This isn't a bug. It's just a platform limitation of NT8 when it comes to chart update speed. Next, we're moving into the setup parameter section. This is where I'll walk you through a deeper explanation of all the key elements we've touched on earlier, but haven't fully unpacked yet. The system's parameter settings are actually very simple and easy to work with. First, you have two trading modes, manual and auto. When you switch to auto mode, the control panel will display long and short buttons, allowing the system to place trades based on the signals it detects. When you activate the long button, the system will start placing automatic buy orders, but only when the conditions for a valid long entry are met. When you activate the long button, the system will start placing automatic buy orders, but only when the conditions for a valid long entry are met. Next, when you switch to manual mode, the long and short buttons will change to buy and sell. In this mode, the system won't place any trades automatically. Instead, you'll be in full control. Simply click the buy button to enter a long trade or the sell button to go short whenever you're ready. It's a great option if you prefer to make decisions manually, while still using the system's real-time market insights to guide your entries. Next is the trigger mode, which gives you two options: single click and double click. If you choose single click, all it takes is one click on the buy or sell button, and the system will immediately execute the trade based on your action. On the other hand, if you select double click mode, you'll need to click twice on the buy or sell button to trigger a trade. The system will only execute the order after receiving a clear double-click input from you. This helps prevent accidental entries, especially when you click too fast or hit the wrong button by mistake. Next is the depth parameter, which shows how many consecutive price levels are used within the total demand and total supply zones. In other words, it defines the market depth that Kingdom will consider. For example, if you set depth x 10, Kingdom will display the accumulated buy orders from the 10 nearest bid levels and the sell orders from the 10 nearest ask levels. Now, let's take a closer look at this, because it's one of the most valuable upgrades compared to traditional DOM systems. In most standard DOMs, you're limited to viewing only 10 price levels on each side, bid and ask. But with Kingdom Dollars, you have the freedom to choose a much deeper market view, whether that's 20, 30, 50, or even up to 100 levels, depending on how much detail you want to see. This means you're no longer restricted to just 10 levels and can gain a much broader picture of how the market is behaving. That said, here's something important to keep in mind. Even if you set the depth to 100, the system can only display the price levels where there are actual orders. If there are no orders placed at certain prices, those levels simply won't show up. And that's completely normal. Next is the buy-sell wall depth parameter. This setting directly controls where the buy and sell walls are placed on the total demand and total supply charts. It defines which price level, relative to the current bid and ask, the system uses to position the walls. For example, if you set buy-sell wall depth dikes 5, then the buy wall will be placed at the 5th price level below the current bid, and the sell wall will be placed at the 5th level above the current ask. Visually, it's easy to interpret. Whichever wall is taller, that side is showing greater strength in the market. Similarly, if you set this parameter to 3, then the buy wall will be placed at the 3rd level below the bid, and the sell wall will be placed at the 3rd level above the ask. Next, we have a very important parameter, one that determines when the system will trigger automatic entries, and also when buy and sell wall data will be recorded into the buy-sell wall info board. In other words, when this condition is met, the system will both log the wall information and trigger a trade. if auto mode is enabled. The buy-sell wall ratio is a key parameter that defines the minimum imbalance required between the buy wall and sell wall. It tells the system how many times larger one side needs to be than the other to be considered a significant imbalance. Once this condition is met, the system will log the wall information to the buy-sell wall info board. And if auto mode is enabled, this also becomes a key trigger for automatic trade entries. For example, if the buy wall is larger than the sell wall and exceeds the required ratio, the system will automatically trigger a buy order. On the other hand, if the sell wall is larger than the buy wall and meets the required ratio, then the system will automatically trigger a sell order, as long as auto mode is turned on. For example, if you set the buy-sell wall ratio to 2, that means the buy wall must be at least twice as large as the sell wall, or the sell wall must be at least twice as large as the buy wall. Only then will the system log this information into the buy-sell wall info board. If the imbalance is below this threshold, the system will simply ignore it as not significant enough. In this example, you can see that the buy wall is at 11 and the sell wall is at 4, which meets the required threshold of 2x set by the buy-sell wall ratio parameter. As a result, this information is logged into the buy-sell wall info board, clearly showing that buyers are in control at this moment. Likewise, in this example, the sell wall is at 7 and the buy wall is at 3, which meets the minimum 2x threshold defined by the buy-sell wall ratio setting. And this ratio condition is the key requirement the system uses to trigger automatic trades. Let's take a look at a clear real-world example. In this example, you can see the buy-sell wall ratio is set to 3. That means when you activate the long mode, the system will only execute a buy trade if the buy wall is at least 3 times larger than the sell wall. If this condition isn't met, the system simply won't enter the trade, helping you avoid weak or noisy signals. In this example, by looking at the buy-sell wall info board, you can see that the buy wall consistently stays larger than the sell wall over time. This steady dominance of buying pressure is a strong sign, and it gives you more confidence to hold your long position longer. Instead of exiting early out of fear of a reversal, here you'll notice a white highlighted box. This shows the buy and sell wall data at the exact moment a trade was executed. Once the trade is complete, this box will disappear, helping you easily distinguish between live market data and the snapshot taken at the moment of entry. Likewise, when you click short mode, the system will only execute a sell order if the sell wall is at least 3 times larger than the buy wall, based on the ratio you've set. You can also increase that ratio to 4x or even 5x if you want the system to look for stronger and more reliable signals, filtering out weaker imbalances that may not be worth trading. Similarly, in this example, you'll notice the sell wall consistently stays larger than the buy wall over multiple updates. This steady imbalance indicates that sellers are still in control, giving us more confidence to hold the short position longer rather than closing it out too early. Now we come to the final parameter, min order gap, in seconds. This setting defines the minimum wait time between 2 consecutive trades placed by the system. Its purpose is to prevent overtrading, stopping the system from entering trades too frequently or too close together. For example, if you set this to 60, the system will wait at least 60 seconds after one trade before it can enter the next one. Before we get into the triple king strategy, I'd love to take a moment to share something really special just for today's webinar. The Kingdom trading system you're about to explore in detail is now available at an incredible offer. Only $436 instead of $1,496. This is a one-time opportunity today only. So if you've been curious about Kingdom Deals, just scan the QR code on screen and don't miss out. And don't forget, the special gift we've prepared is still waiting for its rightful owners who stay with us until the very end. It's a powerful oscillator trusted by many real-world traders, and you could be the one to claim it. So don't leave just yet. The reward is for those who stay with us till the last minute. So that wraps up all the key parameters and settings inside the Kingdom system. Pretty simple, right? Now, the big question is, how do you actually trade effectively using Kingdom dollars? Let's dive into the strategy I know many of you have been waiting for, the Triple King strategy. In the Triple King strategy, we combine the power of three core tools in the King trading ecosystem. NINZaRenko, to smooth out price action and clearly define market structure. King Order Block, to spot strong supply and demand zones left behind by institutions. Kingdom dollars, to read real-time buy-sell pressure through order walls and market depth. The key advantage of this strategy is that it gets you in position early, before reversal signals even form. So, by the time a reversal is visible, you're already in profit, rather than scrambling to catch up. This approach also gives you a high win rate, especially when paired with clean RR 1.1 setups, making it easier to grow your account consistently. Take a look at this specific situation, and you'll clearly understand the core idea behind the Triple King strategy. Normally, when trading around a supply zone, you would wait for a reversal signal or a clear sell setup before entering. However, that often happens too late, and you may end up entering late or missing the best opportunity. With Triple King, you may have the chance to enter as soon as price touches the supply zone, and once the reversal signal appears, you already have a good position and exit the trade right away. Even if it turns out to be a weak or fake reversal, you still walk away with a profit. Next, imagine price moves into a demand zone. Instead of waiting for a reversal candle to confirm the bounce, we place the trade as soon as price enters the zone. And when the reversal candle confirms the move, whether it works out or not, you're still in profit. And you can turn trade signals like these into winning trades. Now, let's get into the trading checklist. It's super straightforward. And once we've covered that, I'll show you a real-time trade I took using this exact strategy. Little spoiler, I used this method and got a win rate so high, I had to double-check the results myself. First, take a look. As price begins to enter a bearish imbalance zone, we can trigger a short trade using Kingdom, entering when sell pressure clearly outweighs buy pressure. And when strong selling shows up right inside a demand zone, it often signals an early reversal, meaning we don't need to wait for price action to confirm it. So the system entered a sell right at the supply zone without waiting for any reversal signal from price action. When the reversal candle appeared and price moved just a little, you were already in profit, calm and in control. But if you'd entered later, you'd probably be sitting there nervous, hoping the move was strong enough just to break even. Similarly, when price enters a bullish order block, we look to go long using Kingdom. At this moment, Kingdom automatically scans the market and detects when the buy wall starts to dominate the sell wall. That's an early sign that buyers are taking control, even before the price actually starts to move higher. You don't need to wait for a confirmation candle. The system helps you spot the shift one step ahead. Just like in the earlier sell example, as soon as price shows a slight reversal, we can lock in profits and exit the trade on our own terms. There's no need to stress or hope for a bigger move, because we had a solid entry from the start. From there, it's simply about waiting patiently for the next setup. Similarly, when price returns to the supply zone, we can trigger a short with just one click in Kingdom. Then, we simply wait for the reversal candle to show up and take profits right on time. Similarly, when price returns to the supply zone, we can trigger a short with just one click in Kingdom. Then, we simply wait for the reversal candle to show up and take profits right on time. When setting your stop and target with this strategy, pay close attention to the Renko ratio you're using. Since we take profit on the reversal candle, the key factor here is the brick size. Use it as your main reference to define your stop loss and take profit levels effectively. Here's a specific example. If you're using a Renko setting of 12.4, that means a reversal candle will typically be twice the brick size, around 12 SI2 or 24 ticks, with a possible variance of 2 to 3 ticks depending on the market. In this case, you can set target 1 at 24 ticks and target 2 somewhere around 28. As long as your profit zone stays between 24 and 30 ticks, you're in a good range. Avoid placing targets too far away. This strategy is designed to capitalize on early entries and lock in profits quickly. That's the first method. But if you want your second contract to aim for a bigger move while still keeping it safe, here's how to set up your second ATM. We stick to the RR 1.1 rule for the first contract. So with a Renko setting of 12 to before, your target would be 12x2A to 24 ticks. For the second contract, keep the stop somewhere between 24 and 30 ticks as well, but your target can be set further away depending on your goals. The key here is to enable break even for the second contract. Set your profit trigger to 24 and your plus to 5. This means once the trade hits 24 ticks in profit, your stop will automatically move 5 ticks into profit, locking in gains and protecting your position. Even if the market reverses, you lose nothing, not even the commission. That's the second way to set your stop and target. Now let's look at a real example. As price enters the supply zone, we trigger a short using Kingdom, and a sell order is placed. Contract 1 hits its target as expected. Meanwhile, the stop for contract 2 has already been moved to a safer level. So even if the market reverses, we still walk away with a winning trade, without losing anything, not even the commission. You can absolutely take another short when price comes back to the supply zone. And in this case, both contracts hit their targets. A clean and complete trade. Similarly, as price enters the demand zone, we trigger another long. And once again, the outcome is solid. Contract 1 hits its target for a win, while contract 2 closes at break-even thanks to the break-even setup. It's another example of how this strategy balances profit and protection. Now it's time for the most exciting part, a live trade based on the exact checklist I just shared. Get ready, stay sharp, and watch how the Triple King strategy plays out in real market conditions. Let's go! Right as I entered the market, there was a strong break below a demand zone. Without hesitation, I took a short trade to ride the momentum of the breakout, and that gave me a solid plumb to 1 win. This was more of a spontaneous trade, based on instinct and experience. From here on out, I'll stick closely to the checklist we laid out. All the ATM setups I'm using here are exactly the same as the ones I shared earlier. Next, as price touched the demand zone, I quickly triggered a long. But since it was too close to the supply zone, I immediately moved the stop to break even, just to protect capital without waiting for a bigger move. Price touches the supply zone. I take a short. Price touches the supply zone. I take a short. Price touches the supply zone. I take a short. Price touches the supply zone. I take a short. And that wraps up my first trading day using the Triple King strategy with a win rate of up to 90%. What do you think? Let me know. Now, let's move on to day 2 of live trading, where new setups and opportunities await. Price touches the demand zone. I take a long. Every trade you just saw was done on a real-time account. No playback, no simulation involved. This is the ATM setup I'm using for the 25-Renko ratio, and it follows exactly what I shared with you earlier. Price touches the supply zone. I take a short. Price touches the demand zone. I take a long. In this section, price action became unclear, so I decided to skip the trade to stay on the safe side. Price touches the supply zone. I take a short.
Order filled.
Before we get to the special gift waiting for those of you who've stayed until the very end, we'd love to take a moment to share some really special offers just for today as a heartfelt thank you for being here with us. Triple King Strategy Bundle, Kingdom Do Plus, King Order Block, plus ninZaRenko. All three systems for just $696, a great deal compared to buying them separately. Kingdom, our depth of market trading system. Today's offer, only $436. Regular price, $1496. King Order Block. Detect strong supply demand zones. Just $290. ninZaRenko. Smooth out price action for clearer structure. Only $156. If you've been considering any of these tools, today is the perfect time. Simply scan the QR codes to lock in your best deal. And as promised, here's today's special gift for everyone who stayed until the end. The gift will only be given to viewers from July 4th to July 7th, ET. StockMFI Pro, a smart oscillator built for reversal traders. Quick summary of StockMFI Pro. Designed for traders with unique styles, StockMFI Pro is a fusion of stochastic and MFI money flow index, giving you early reversal signals when %K and %D cross in overbought, oversold zones. Higher signal frequency thanks to its responsive momentum tracking. Clearly marked overbought, oversold zones right on the price chart. Easy to spot. Built-in sound and pop-up alerts, so you never miss a signal. Once you see the overbought or oversold area light up on the chart, it's a strong clue to start watching for a potential price retracement or reversal. If you're into reversal trading and want sharper, earlier signals, StockMFI Pro is the tool made for you. And that wraps up today's sharing session, where we've taken a closer look at DOM, explored how the Kingdom system really works, and walked through a practical, real-world reversal trading strategy. This wasn't meant to be a lesson. We're not here as teachers. We're just fellow traders, simply sharing what we've learned and what we're actually using in our own trades. We truly hope that something from today's session has been helpful for you. Even just one insight, one idea, or one tool that makes your trading journey a little clearer, a little more confident. We're still here for a little while longer, so feel free to ask your questions. And if you'd like one-on-one support, just leave your email and we'll get in touch personally. Once again, thank you so much for staying with us until the end. We really appreciate your time, and we hope to see you again in the next session. Or maybe inside a winning trade together with Kingdom,